So far, we learned very basic commands such as status, tagging, update, rollback, history. Now, let's start writing our own change logs. What I would like to do is I would like to create another column saying nickname on the percentage. So in order to do that, we need to give the first change set and we need to give the developer name. So I'm saying my name, Ranga, and this version is 4. And I'm applying labels as some labels. So here I'm applying, as I mentioned, the labels can be used as tags as well. So I'm putting V4. And the context is self-learning. If you want to run the update change log as per the context, we can run it. But we don't need to worry about the context at this moment. So I just give some context as a self-learning. And here I want to give the comment. So as part of the comment, we can use a single line or multiple lines. If we want to give the multiple lines, we need to give in this fashion. So for now, it's a single line adding nickname column. And here is the one alter table person. I'm adding a column and nickname. And the varchar is I'm giving 10 characters. Along with that, we need to provide a rollback command as well. So this is the rollback SQL that would be used when you issue a rollback. If we have not provided the rollback command or the SQL, then it will not be executed. What I mean is, for example, if I skip the rollback SQL as part of this change log, then even though when I apply the rollback, the changes will not get impact. That's the reason I'm providing rollback. So as part of this one, I want to rollback means remove the column. So I'm writing alter table person drop column, which is a nickname. The change has been written. Save the file. Now let's check the status, Liquibase status with verbose. So it gives all the information such as user, change version, that information. So here it says the version 4 needs to be done and the developer is Ranga. So let's run it. I'm running the update. So it executes all change sets. So here all changes has been executed. Let's check the database, refresh it. First of all, let's check the database change log. In the change log, the developer has been used and order executed. These are all there. And here the comment, adding nickname, and I have given the context as a self-learning and the label as 4. So let's check the person table. Refresh. And the person table has nickname column has been added. So if I roll back this change, what happens? Clear the console. Liquibase, roll back. I'm giving a count. So 1 has to be reverted. So change log 4 has been successfully done, which means if I refresh the table, the nickname column has been taken out. What if I not provided the rollback command? Clear the console. Run the update. Validate the database table. Now roll back. We got an error saying that because it doesn't have the rollback SQL changes. So that's the reason it has given an error, which means the Liquibase history is having 4 versions. Let's add the rollback SQL and run the rollback count. It successfully rolled back the changes. And if we verify the database, the column would be taken out. And the history will be updated accordingly. So here, as part of the change log, as part of the change set, Do we need to add only the create table or the tables? Can't we use the data? Yes, we can use it for the seed data, which is mandatory data. For example, if the company has a mandatory data needs to be present, then we can add it as part of the change log. Just for an example, copying the comments. So here as part of the change log version 5, now I'm applying version 5. We can give any label. For example, here I want to say load data v1, loading company data. So as part of it, I want to write insert queries. Insert into company. And I don't want to use the ID because ID is already part of the auto increment. So I want to give the name, address 1, address 2, and city. So I want to give the values. So the company name is self-learning. I'm putting some dummy value. And the address 1. The second address is 2. I'm giving the city as Bangalore. And we need to give the rollback SQL as well. So as part of the rollback SQL, we need to give the delete from company where name is equals to self-learning. Let's run the update command. So it has executed 2 because 4 version and 5th version, because we have rolled back earlier one. So that's the reason version 4 also executed and version 5 also executed. Let's check the database, refresh the database, and let's run the SQL query on company. So it has inserted the first record as part of the change request. If I issue the rollback command, as part of it, we have given the rollback SQL and the data would be deleted. Is there any other way to load the data in a more efficient way? Yes, Liquibase supports a CSV format that we will be looking at later. There might be few scenarios where I'm writing change set, comment, and rollback. There might be mistakes. For example, instead of while there is a typo. So how are you going to validate the syntaxes? So for now, I'm adding deliberately some wrong syntax format. And when I run the update query, definitely it would fail. So to avoid these things, we can run the validate command to validate beforehand. So here, as part of validate, I run it and it gives that one where exactly the problem occurred. So it is happened regarding the check set. And it's the same for the comment as well. Now there might be few projects which we already been using it with different strategy, and now we want to start using the Liquibase. In such case, how can we do that? Because at that point of time, we might not have any of the sequels that has been executed. And how are you going to start on such projects using the Liquibase? So for that, we have another command which is generate change log, which will be generating the change log and will give us the change log. From that point, we can start using it. Just to simulate the scenario, I'm creating a new table called test table, and which has 2 columns. When I run it, the test has been created, but this test is not recorded in any one of our change histories. Let's assume that there is no Liquibase and this is the legacy project. So we want to capture all the tables. How are you going to do that? So for that, we need to use Liquibase generate change log. So as part of the generate change log, we need to provide a SQL file. So by default, the Liquibase has a change log SQL. So that's the reason we are getting the error saying that change log that SQL is already exist. So changelog file, I'm giving a different file. Let's use legacy, and we need to provide the database type, which is in our case H2, and I'm giving SQL. So it will be creating, we need to provide dot. So I'm updating the command legacy.h2.sql. So now the legacy H2 SQL has been generated. Let's validate. Let's see the legacy H2. As part of the legacy H2, it has the company, person, and text has been created. So this file recorded all the tables recorded and its respective constraints as well, such as primary key. You see it here, ID is primary key, here also ID is primary key, and there are, if there are any constraints, it generated a change log file for the existing ones. Then we can start from this point onwards writing our own change request. Now let's generate a different format, for example XML. Let's generate it. Now if we see it, it generated XML format as well. In our case, it is created the same company, person, and the text as expected. So this is how we are going to export or create the legacy data or legacy changelog or existing changelog using different types SQL and the XML. So this concludes our basic learning of Liquibase. Thank you.